We just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob, old school day number 2. Yes. All right, so this video we're going to do the review for episode 12 of The Arrow, and Oliver makes his return. Excuse me. I always forget to turn that off. Pardon me, please. All right. All right, so a good episode. Mainly the thing I liked about it most really was the Malcolm Merlyn stuff. I got to be honest. Going back and seeing how the events played out, what made him what he is today, that was, to me, the most intriguing part of this episode. It's not to say that all the other things taking place weren't good. They were. But that, to me, was like the highlight of this episode, the Malcolm Merlyn content. In between all that, obviously, Laurel as the Black Canary. Laurel, Roy, Diggle, Felicity still working together to try and control the Glades while Brick is pretty much running amok with his goons. And that's fine. I mean, that's what we've been seeing. We've been seeing that struggle, and it's a good thing to see because at the end of the day, you actually got, or at least I got what I wanted, which was to see them succeed without Oliver. And Oliver came at the tail end of everything. By then, they had already taken out Brick. I mean, Laurel's trainer, and I failed to remember his name at the moment. Obviously, he kicked the shit out of Brick, which only got his adrenaline pumping, and Brick turned around and pretty much beat him to death. So now I find it interesting because a couple of weeks ago, I remember I talked about Laurel significantly looking different than Sarah in that outfit because she's so tall. Well, it's funny. They seem to work to that because Sin picked up on that right away. She knew it wasn't Sarah. Even though she called out to her when Laurel got on the motorbike, and I'm sure that helped her figure it out. She could just tell, and you can tell it's not Sarah. Sarah's like 4'11", Laurel's like 7 feet tall. She's like Manute Bol. So and she told her father, and that's going to be interesting now because one of the things that scares me most about the show is him finding out that Sarah's dead again, because I think that would be pretty much the death of him. I can't see him like not committing suicide or going into an alcoholic binge and just dying of alcohol poisoning or something tragic happening to him because of finding out that Sarah would be dead or is dead. So we'll see how that plays out. In terms of all the events in the episode outside of Malcolm Merlyn, it's a little bit of the same that we've seen leading up to this point. We've seen them struggle but still succeed. Felicity using her obviously her great intellect, coupled with the information that Laurel and Rory brought back about the goons pretty much communicating via walkie-talkie. She was able to triangulate on Brick's position. And, obviously Malcolm inadvertently saved Roy and Laurel from being shot with flares when he got involved in the scuffle at the precinct. Now, in terms of Malcolm, him finding out that Brick killed his wife, I was a little surprised by that. I thought it was a good little twist. And it's funny how he find out because he bugged the facility. And, I thought it was a very good scene between him and Oliver at the end when Oliver basically talks him out of it. He actually can attest to what Malcolm's going through to a certain extent because he suffered loss on the island, with Shadow. He suffered loss with Sarah for a short span of time before he found out she was alive again, and now he's suffering again. So he knows, even though he's younger than Malcolm, he understands because Malcolm didn't go through what Oliver went through when he was Oliver's age. He didn't. By the time he went into the league and all this and all that, I mean, he was already probably in his mid-30s, and Oliver is in his early 30s now, but he's been going through this stuff for, 8 years now, from the time he got to the island to the time he made it back to the city. So I thought it was a good scene that, it's odd because these two are such rivals, and you would think Oliver would shoot Malcolm when he first saw him, but he actually almost gave a shit. But let's not forget, he gives a shit to a certain extent because of Thea's sake. He don't give a fuck about Malcolm Merlyn, but he knows that Malcolm means something to Thea, and because he loves Thea, he's not going to let Malcolm hurt himself. He's going to do the best he can to make the best out of the situation. I think that is pretty much where they're at. Plus, he's in a position now where he needs Malcolm. The only chance he has of defeating Ra's al Ghul is to get training from Malcolm Merlyn, who has beaten Oliver's ass before. Excuse me. So it's going to be very interesting seeing them work together and see how that's going to work out. One thing's for sure. Oliver's going to be a badass after he gets that training. I know we're still in season 3, but I'm already thinking about season 4 after he's gotten some training from Malcolm. Oh my God, is he even going to need Arsenal and Black Canary anymore, honestly? Then we get to the final part I want to talk about with this episode, and that's Felicity. Now, Felicity is a character I love. I really do love her character, not only because she's a little ditzy in a cute way, but she's also super intelligent. It's like that combo. It's like weird, and but because she's had good character development, she's just a good character. On top of that, very attractive, obviously. So I was a little upset with how she reacted, even though I understood where she was coming from, and I do. I understand where she's coming from. She has a right to feel the way she feels, but I don't think she's seeing it from the bigger picture. I thought to myself that Felicity would know a little bit better by now of exactly the kind of people she's dealing with, especially in terms of Oliver. And for her to kind of give him a hard time just when he can't, the guy is not even fully alive yet. He's still walking around like this, and she just laid into him. And it's funny. I looked at my wife and I said to myself, if that was me, I probably would have sent her to hell. Honestly, I would have. I mean, I just got back, and I guess I was a little upset because she's complaining about him not, you've been in her life for a month or however long, and give the brother a chance to explain himself before you start digging him in a hole like you're his girl. I mean, really? You're not even dating the guy. Well, you had one kiss, suddenly you're married? What's going on here? I mean, and I hate to say that because I like Felicity, and I do think she has the right to feel the way she feels. But my man just got stabbed and knocked off a mountain. I mean, can a brother live for a little while here? Oh, really? I mean, can we get a break? And I understand that she's upset he wants to work with Malcolm, but I don't think she understands to the degree of what Oliver's thinking. We know what Oliver's thinking already. We know this. We know Oliver's looking ahead. He's like, look, if I don't train now and get good enough to beat Roz now, by the time he comes for me, Thea, and Malcolm, I'm toast. Because Malcolm's not going to be able to beat him. He's too old. And Thea, while she's a badass now, she doesn't have the level of fighting like Oliver and Malcolm. So, and I don't think Felicity doesn't know that. But she also didn't give him a chance to explain. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how things turn out. I'm sure Felicity will come to terms. I think she also needs to kind of separate her personal feelings from the situation. And even Oliver knew that because he was even mentioning it. And I agree with that. I think that her personal feelings are very much involved. And she's not thinking at it from a broader picture. Sometimes you gotta get dirty to get clean again. I guess I don't know. That's the best way I could put it. But I think what Oliver is doing is the right thing. If you're gonna get some of the best training you can get it from the person who kicked your ass numerous times. Hey, it can only help your chances, right? So, and last thing, I like how they reference at the end. They finally call Malcolm by his comic name, the Magician. I thought that was really cool. The way that they set that up with Nisa and he pulled the coin out and all that. So. But we'll see. I thought it was a good episode. I liked the whole return. The speech was a little bit cliche, but hey, look, it's his moment to come back. I'm all good for it. I got fired up about that. I thought it was really cool, and he swung through, and it was a good episode. It was good, but the Malcolm Merlyn stuff was definitely on point. The scene with Felicity and Oliver, a little annoying for me, considering how much I love Felicity, but I do understand her point of view. But I think the character, speaking of the character, she needs to kind of step back, put her feelings aside, and see the bigger picture. Overall, it's going to be very exciting to see how things turn out. One thing I will say, one last thing, once again, I don't like the fact that they're going back with the Vertigo shit next week. I don't know if you guys saw the coming attractions, but I'm good with Vertigo. I mean, can we just move on from that? So I'm already a little turned off by the theme of next week's episode, but there's a lot of things that could happen there. So we'll see what happens, but Vertigo needs to go. I hope this is the last we see of Vertigo. All right, guys, that's it for this review. This is Rob signing off for ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching ETN. Don't forget to subscribe and join the Nation Facebook page. You're watching ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob, old school day number 2. Yes. All right, so this video we're going to do the review for episode 12 of The Arrow, and Oliver makes his return. Excuse me. I always forget to turn that off. Pardon me, please. All right. All right, so a good episode. Mainly the thing I liked about it most really was the Malcolm Merlyn stuff. I got to be honest. Going back and seeing how the events played out, what made him what he is today, that was, to me, the most intriguing part of this episode. It's not to say that all the other things taking place weren't good. They were. But that, to me, was like the highlight of this episode, the Malcolm Merlyn content. In between all that, obviously, Laurel as the Black Canary. Laurel, Roy, Diggle, Felicity still working together to try and control the Glades while Brick is pretty much running amok with his goons. And that's fine. I mean, that's what we've been seeing. We've been seeing that struggle, and it's a good thing to see.